sorry I didn't get to your thing last night. I didn't.
I know. Does this mean it's going?
Well, I'm sure it is. Really. Oh, I would have loved that.
Yeah, it doesn't move. It's like remain.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's going. Is it moving? Okay. Here we go.
Okay. All right. So we'll call the meeting to order at 6:04 on Thursday, June 12th. And Cecile, when you're ready, we'll do a roll call.
Okay. I'll just call out everyone's names for sure. All right. Judith?
Here.
Dana?
Here.
Daniel?
Here.
Antonio? Not here. Jason?
Here.
Erica?
Here. Not technically ever called.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Me. We're on here, so great.
Thanks, Cecile. Cecile.
Yes.
Is filling in
For Priscilla, yeah.
vacation.
Great, thank you.
So we'll welcome our public. We always love to have members of the public come. So our first item is public input on non-agenda items, or we can do them both together, or public input on agenda items. So we also will have that includes the agenda items for now, to discuss our special agenda items, which include the budget, our summer reading plans, our community mapping, and the secretary's report. And then we have a consent calendar, and then there's another opportunity for public input on our library board discussion items. So if we have public comment on either non-agenda or special items, now is the time.
There were no requests to speak.
Oh, no. Oh, you're just here to visit and observe. Wonderful. Great. Well, welcome. Thank you. Okay, then we'll get down to the first item, which is the budget.
Yes. And I want to introduce Daniel Soto, who is our principal admin analyst. And he put together this memo, which is basically information that we have shared with the staff and that is available via the council website for the council report. I have a few extra.
Sure.
If you'd like to share. All right.
You emailed this to us too, right?
Yeah, it's all that information, just in memo form. Yes.
We could share.
Yeah, we can share.
Yes. Daniel, do you want to talk? Or want me to talk about it? Or?
I'm happy to go through it if you'd like.
Yeah. Why don't we do that?
Great. Great. Yeah, this is your first budget, right, Daniel?
Yes, this is my first budget cycle with the library. Just a second.
Okay. Do you have it? Sorry.
I have it here on my
Okay.
Okay, as Erica mentioned, she did email an update to the library board, and we have a printed copy of a memo for you here today. The City Council is working on wrapping up its fiscal year 25-27 biennial budget. Biennial means that the city prepares a budget on a 2-year cycle. So what that means is the City Council reviews and approves, adopts our budget for the next fiscal year, which runs from July 1st through June 30th, and then also approves a budget plan for the subsequent year. So narrowing down to the library's general fund budget and grant budget totals $11.7 million for the next fiscal year. That represents an approximate $36,000 increase from our current year budget. And that increase primarily is from increases to our personnel or salaries budget. For the second year, our budget plan is $12 million, and that is an increase of $214,000 from the year prior. Looking at the bigger city context, the city is working on addressing a structural deficit. So what that means is the city plans to expend more money than it receives. So the city has different ways to look at addressing that. And essentially that means we have to bring down our expenses or plan to spend less than what we actually would have spent and or increase our revenues to make up the difference. The goal is for us to have a balanced budget. So what that means is our departments, our city departments are looking at ways to balance our budget. And so at the library, that means a flat budget for supplies and expenses, and very modest increases in salaries related expenses. And those are usually directly from calculated increases to staff costs that we anticipate through step increases, negotiated salary increases, and increases to employee benefits. Let's see. So the City Council did hold a budget study session back in March and in May, and there was advocacy work that was done by several community organizations, including the Library Board and the Friends of the Library, in part, and thanks to that advocacy, there was an initial proposal discussed relating to closing one of our branch libraries, and because of that advocacy, that proposal was later retracted. So coming back to the budget, our City Council had a preview of our proposed budget in late May, and as part of their budget direction back to the City Manager, they're proposing a final budget that will go to the City Council in a couple of weeks on June 24th. Changes to the budget that was initially proposed at the end of May, that is available on our website, shows that this budget will include a hiring freeze. That's for all non-sworn positions in the city with certain exceptions. Those accepted positions that would be positions required for health and safety, implementation of a Measure K proposal, legal compliance, positions required to deliver core city services, and then positions that are directly tied to revenue generating initiatives. Generally, our library positions are not exempt. They may not necessarily fall under those categories, but we don't know. We haven't made those determinations yet, and currently the library does not have any full-time vacancies. Either way, we look forward to working with the City Manager's office. The City Manager is proposing to have what's called a managed hiring process, where they will review and evaluate upcoming vacancies in the future. So should the library have a full-time vacancy, we will work with them, and we hope we can provide a justification to see if they would be willing to fill a vacancy for us. Other parts of the proposed budget include security enhancements for the library. We currently have a vendor that provides proactive video monitoring services to help keep the exterior of the library safe. Fortunately, we have continued funding for that program, which initially started as a pilot, to continue for the library. I mentioned next that we have a flat budget for supplies and expenses, and we are making adjustments as necessary to continue library operations. We're also looking at focusing on revenue generating ideas. So that means increases to library fees for meeting rooms. We're also looking at expanding room rentals, allowing filming, limited filming, and special events at the main library and at the Ocean Park Library only when the library is closed, so as to not disrupt library operations. And also looking at a short-term lease of the former cafe space at the courtyard here at the main library. Like I mentioned earlier, the City Council is prepared to vote on the fiscal year 2025-27 budget at their June 24th meeting. We'll still be working with the city, with City Hall, to make sure that we can best use our limited budget to gather or continue to fund our library services. And we will keep you apprised of any updates as we move forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is the new manager on? Has he started? The new gentleman?
Not officially, not until July. I think his first week is going to be July 14th, but he has been coming in to kind of get some orientation, the interim city manager, so, but he's not.
And does the supplies and expense budget includes our like budget for books and magazines and the actual collection?
Yes.
So That's a good one.
So,
And what is that still below where we were pre-pandemic, 2019? Is that line item still 20% lower than it was in 2019?
It's not 20% lower, but it is still lower. I don't have the
So-
exact.
So on an inflation-adjusted basis, it's still double digits.
Mhm.
so I think that it's important for the board to know that this is not, the city staff recommended a different budget with no hiring
Oh, absolutely.
freeze.
Yeah,
And this is something the council brought up at the last minute. And it's very significant, and it will have impacts on the library. The library, we know that people will be retiring this year, and a hiring freeze would be really damaging. This is just really disappointing, I'd say. After all the advocacy and people coming out and speaking about people were not just saying not to close the library, they were saying to open Fairview and Ocean Park, and we're nowhere. And I guess we'll talk about this perhaps during the secretary's report, but this council's attitude about rejecting our request for a liaison, I think was what really demoralizing. And so I hope that, I don't think anything will change necessarily, but I think we, as a board, should go and speak up at the budget session and let them know that, a hiring freeze will be detrimental to the library. So I plan on, sending out, I've been sending out, to all the people who came to the rally. I've been sending updates, about the situation at the library, and I'll send out again and ask people, to let the council know that, one, that the library still, is not being funded as it should be, and second, that, the idea of a hiring freeze is really problematic. And staff had figured, with using reserves that they could avoid a hiring freeze, but that's not necessarily, the position of the council. So it's, council will probably deliberate this, and I know they've been in discussions with staff about impacts, but I don't know if you've been asked to provide what the impact could be to the library.
Well, because we currently don't have vacancies on the actual list, I think there's been discussion internally and with city manager about what that impact would be, particularly because not just the library, but any of the departments and their operations, when they suffer a freeze, and if there are other plans around new initiatives or new projects, it's kind of challenging or hard to start something new when certain positions are frozen, and there is no telling which are going to be frozen in the coming year. I mean, we may know of one, but there might be others, and so, but definitely that impacts operations, and particularly because we're so thin for the library. I made that clear with the city manager's office and with city leadership. I think all of us in department head team are trying to, figure out and anticipate, what might happen.
And
Is that decision for them, is it finalized or not yet? And that's why you're saying we should go to
they adopt the
meeting?
budget on June 24th.
24th. Okay.
But yes, and from the study session in May, staff presented a specific proposal, and the counter was a directive to staff to go back to integrate within their proposal what a hiring freeze would look like, and then what steps city would take in order to implement something like that. So that's what will be presented.
And I guess maybe it would be helpful to talk a little bit about the possibility for increased revenue, what you're thinking about.
Yes. So very little revenue generating opportunities here at the library. But we do have some beautiful spaces. And so what we know that our community does use are the rentals, so they're meeting room rentals, and we have not raised those in a while. And so we will be increasing the rental rate per hour, which is, it's nominal compared to other rental spaces, but still for us, it'll give a small amount of revenue. The newer revenue idea that we'll be exploring and implementing is special events. And so we're looking at the Ocean Park Library and the cafe space and courtyard as two spaces that could be rented as special events after hours, so not to disrupt or interrupt any of the hours that we're open. But we've had some requests in the past about that, and that would be one of the main revenue generating ideas that we have, is that rental space. The second one is filming, and there have been requests for filming in the past. We have not really pursued that because what we found is oftentimes it can disrupt library operations. So we are looking at the locations that are minimally open, as well as likely open plus locations to submit for filming, but that will all go through and be under the filming and permitting process of the whole city. So we won't be doing it ourselves. We'll be doing it as, here's an extra space where you can film, and it will go under whatever they decide the fees are going to be for the city and film.
And how feasible do you think it is to try to get a short-term lease for the cafe space?
That you know what, I think we could do it. I think that we have to rethink, because it's the cafe space, but we don't have like that kitchen anymore.
Right.
It could be something that's more used, either office space or pop up, or something that doesn't require, something where people bring either if they want food, bring food in. But that actually is one that we haven't yet fleshed out.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
but I do think that it's possible. I think that we're open to creative ideas, and this is kind of the year or two where we try things, and if they don't work out, that's why it's specifically short term and not long term. Because eventually we are hoping the Friends will be raising the money to make this into the community space they want it to be. But until then, we should definitely explore how we can work on some revenues there in that space.
For this type of revenue generation, when it is raised, where does it go into in terms of the library budget? Is it able to go through, to be used as needed, or are there special buckets it's designated towards?
It goes towards general funds. So what will happen is we will get the anticipated money, the money that we anticipate. If for some reason we don't make those revenue projections and there's some negative, we will need to look at where that might come out of the budget. So what we're saying is we believe we can make this amount per year through the revenues. So they give that into our budget.
So how much
they
is
front load it.
what percentage of the budget is this?
Very small. I think. I'm looking at Daniel, but I think that we had
12,000.
Yeah, I think it's between 12 and 15,000.
Maybe 1,000 a month, something like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Not a
Yeah.
lot of money.
So it basically helps already. It's already kind of calculated into the current budget a little bit.
Yeah, it's actually more than that, because I feel like it's 12,000 for around 12,000 for the special events, and then for the lease, for the short-term lease, it's probably around 15 to 20,000, because it would be like monthly. Yeah,
So still under.
but yes,
Okay.
under.
For the special events, do you know just how big the space, how many people it could hold? Because I have some,
That's
for
a
example,
very good
some
question.
I know, for example, some alumni organizations that I'm part of here in LA, they've
Yeah.
been looking for some spaces to hold
Yeah.
some summer events, for example.
Yeah.
And so they've been saying some of the places have been more expensive than their budget, and so
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, like, so I
So-
could help share some of this
Yeah, so
information.
we have, I mean, we have the occupancy for Ocean Park inside, but what we're looking at is the outdoor area really spaced to be used,
Mhm.
and that like front part, like the park.
Mhm.
And then for our cafe courtyard, we don't have that yet.
Mhm.
So that we'll put that all together in that package when we have like the special, when we put out the special events,
Okay.
like rentals.
Okay.
But it would be the outside,
Yeah.
you know, that courtyard.
Yeah, that'd be great,
area.
like, for the summer or fall.
We have fit, 60 to 80 people in there just
Okay.
before, but yeah, I don't, we'd have to talk with fire and all.
Just curious, if, you know, if the Friends manage the special events, or, you know, because that money goes directly to the library rather than into the general fund. I don't know if it's feasible for them to you know, since it's city property, so probably not, but.
Not to manage the rentals because we've already accounted for it in our
Oh,
general
yes,
fund
right.
budget
Yeah, okay.
for this next 2
Mhm.
years. However, in the future, we could look at that, but the Friends would or could be using that space, and then we have an agreement with them about after hours,
Right.
you know, being able to raise money for the library, so they would do it in that way, but not, they would not get the rental money.
Okay.
That would need to go back into general fund.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, then we'll move on to our summer reading.
Happy, cheerful stuff.
What a great transition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me
There's
get
a
going.
reason why y'all are second after this.
And hopefully you all know who we are. We
Yes.
haven't introduced ourselves.
My name is Emily.
Yes.
I manage the youth services team. And our summer reading program begins on Saturday. You can currently scan the QR code on the front of this bookmark, advertising summer reading, and pre-register. I will talk a little bit more about what that means. On the back of the bookmark, there's also a list of events. This is the adult bookmark. So it has adult events. There you go. Cecile, you've already seen this.
I'm good, thank you.
Seen it? There you go. And as you all probably know, because you've heard this spiel before, for children, we have the summer reading program, and it's a program that happens nationwide. It's not the same everywhere, but libraries all over the country do it to help prevent children from losing sort of the momentum that they have during the school year of knowledge. And reading is fundamental to that. Whether they're reading fiction or nonfiction, they're learning something, and we are here to encourage that. So it is happening throughout the summer, starting June 14th and ending August 16th. We will be having a reading challenge. So this year we added a brand new category. We added the baby category, and because we couldn't think of a better name for it, it's the 0 to 4 age group. We had been doing that in the past for that age group, but what we were doing was handing the caregiver a book and then letting them go. I thought it would be just advantageous for us to encourage them to come to our baby times or Tuesday Tales. We just added a brand new toddler time. We were getting a lot of little toddlers at our baby times. So we wanted to give separation and have appropriate materials and programming for that age group. So we have baby time, or the babies. They'll be reading 300 minutes. Now babies don't read, but reading to your child, having them come to story time, singing them songs, pointing at shapes, playing with the little alphabet things in the bathtub. All of that counts towards their 300 minutes. It's 5 hours. It'll happen super easy. Then we have our kids program, ages 5 to 11. They reach 600 minutes, which is 10 hours. But again, we're giving them opportunities to read books and write reviews for additional minutes. to come to programs or some of our events through the summer for additional minutes. And then we have our teen program for 12 to 18-year-old. They read 20 hours. We have some power teens who will do that no problemo. And some of our prizes, upon registration, every single body who registers, while supplies last, will get a $2 Friends of the Library coupon. They graciously donated 2,000 coupons to us this year. And that is for everybody as old as you can be and down to little babies. And there are books for everybody at the bookstore. Then for the babies, they just get one other prize. They get to pick a book off of a cart. We have some board books for them to select. They can also select picture books. And Mendocino Farms graciously donated something like 700 coupons for a free cookie. That is for 12 and under. Sorry. Our teens are really disappointed, but they have some additional. Adults are disappointed, but they have some additional prizes. For kids, they get also the Friends of the Library coupon. They get to pick a book off the shelf as their halfway prize, and their final prize. Beside a Mendocino Farms coupon, we also partnered with Pacific Park. They gave us 700 ride cards to hand out as final prize for our kids and for our teens. Again, sorry, grown-ups. And also, they get to choose one of these beautiful, lovely, wonderful stuffed animals with limited edition Santa Monica Public Library handkerchiefs tied around their necks. And there's more colors of this guy. I don't know about the other thing. I think there's only one green, and I think there's just the blue. But these are the prizes for kids, the final prizes for kids and for teens, vetted already. The teens were very excited when they learned about it. And when we did outreach to the schools, all the kids were going bananas for the stuffy. This one particularly looks like what are they called? The jelly cat stuffed animal. It looks just like the jelly cat. I bought one a couple weeks ago. On top of the incentives for reading and coming to the library and engaging with the community, we have tons of programs throughout the summer. We have our regular baby time, our new toddler tales, which starts on Monday, and Tuesday tales. And then we have all sorts of things. It's a carnival theme. Oh my goodness. I wanted to get a slat board to hang these up and have the kids in, but that just wasn't doable.
A ball toss, right?
Yeah. Saturday from 10:30 to 12:30 is our kickoff party, and it is carnival themed. There will be popcorn. There will be cotton candy. There will be a juggler who's wild. There will be a balloon animal maker walking around making balloon animals for the kiddos. And there's carnival games run by our teen volunteers, some by staff, a little bit of mix up. And during that time, patrons can come and register for the summer reading program, pick up their $2 coupon for the Friends of the Library bookstore. They also agreed to be open during that time, so we can just usher them right in, and they can have a fresh book to start off their reading adventure for the summer. And of course, you can register at the main library, at Pico, and at Montana, and collect prizes at those locations as well. We just couldn't have the prizes available at the self-service locations at this time. We have, throughout the summer, though, we have an anime drawing event with a gentleman who is an actual anime guy. I forget his name. And he's worked for Disney and all sorts of other things. We have the balloon animal guy from the kickoff party is going to come teach kids how to make their own balloon animals. We're going to make ice cream. We also got coupons from McConnell's Ice Cream that we'll be kind of doing a raffle for during that event. And then What other programs do we
Oh,
have?
I don't know, but we remember we got swim passes too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got swim passes from Annenberg Beach House that we will be sort of raffling off
Yeah,
throughout the
really
summer.
nice then.
For kids only again, sorry.
Didn't they throw in a couple adult ones in there?
Not that I saw, but I'll double check. Sorry.
Yeah, I was trying for that. She has more sway.
Yeah, people love giving kids stuff.
Yeah, they do.
So we have a lot of really fun events, educational, fun, a little bit of both, a little social. Really looking forward to it. Everybody's very excited. And I hope if you have kids in your life that you sign them up, sign yourself up, and Karen will tell you what kind of exciting adventure you can go on this summer.
Yeah, I told Emily she should go first, but honestly, I probably should have gone first. No, it's all good. We have cool stuff too. Yeah, so adult summer reading is very similar to the kids' summer reading, same time frame. You can sign up at any of our locations. You can sign up online and then come see us and get your prizes. For signing up, yes. There's the Friends coupon. So for adult summer reading, for signing up, just like the kids, you get a coupon for the Friends bookstore, which they generously donated. But you also get a bag.
That's a cool
bag. And usually the kids have the bags, but this year the adults have the bags. And it's you can. Okay, I'm not going to do it, but you can fold it up. You know, it's going to fit in there. Yeah, Cecile did a great job working on the logo for us. We're very excited about these bags. So you get a bag for signing up and a coupon.
Well, supply class.
Yes, and we have quite a few bags. We have like 500 bags. So I think we're okay. We'll see. But I said, encourage the kids if, the kids want a bag, then just get their parent to sign up, right?
We know that
Yes.
little readers come from big readers.
Yes,
And so-
exactly. And that's been really fun. And the way that we sign people up now, we have the Beanstack, which is the software that we use. You can sign up a whole family, which is really great. So you can see the parents and the kids and the caregivers and see everybody involved. And then at the, so it's 20 hours to finish. So just like the teens, last year we did 10 hours to finish. And then we're like, well, wait, the teens have to do 20. Come on, adults, pick it up. So for incentives, at the halfway point, at 10 hours, adults can come in and choose from a book. This is just kind of a sample of new books that we have. We have nonfiction, Hendricks book there. We have T. Jefferson Parker. We have some Laura Childs. But they can choose from a cart of books. We order the books from Book Depot. Robert Graves, my coworker, ordered from them. And we were actually really happy. There are new books, but they're surplus books. You can go in and choose the titles, put in categories and so forth, but greatly discounted. So it was really nice. We actually just ordered 100 more books because we think it's going to be a really popular adult summer reading program. And it was $100 for 100 more books, which is amazing for these. We also got some more paperbacks too, some people that want some paperbacks. And then when people finish at 20 hours, they're going to be entered, and they need to come see us because we have to register that they finished at 20 hours. But then they'll be entered for a drawing for a local business gift certificate, which we've done in the past years for that. So we've had Zibby's on Montana. We always try to get a gift certificate from each neighborhood. So we've had Solidarity, Zibby's on Montana. We've had Gilberto's, Mexican food. We've had Bob's Market, Furby Branch, and so forth. So we're actually finalizing that for this $50 gift certificates. We're giving away 5, again, all from the Friends. We also have great programs going on. I brought this because we had this today. I know it's not the official start of summer reading us, but the Emeritus College has a concert every 6 months here recently because we're just so popular. And this is for the summer. They do Broadway show tunes and piano playing and singing, and we had it today, and it was just so fun. It just really felt summer and happy. And heavens knows we all can use a little happy right now. And then we all have all kinds of great programs going on. We have a wonderful partnership going on with Santa Monica Repertory Theater. Yes, they got a grant from Cultural Affairs, so we've been working with them, and the Friends are helping to fund it. So they had their first performance of The Grapes of Wrath here at the MLK Auditorium really a couple weeks ago now. And then the next one they're doing is performance of A House on Mango Street, and that's going to be over at the Miles Playhouse, actually. Yeah, so we're partnering with the Miles Playhouse. We'll have staff from our team over there doing outreach. So that's going to be on Saturday, June 28th from 1 to 4. And also kind of fun, we've been having auditions for youth to be in the play, working with San Juan Correct, and we have a playwriting workshop. So I really wanted to highlight that. We also have some literary lounges going on. We have one going on tonight, utilizing the courtyard. Yeah, Jeff Kaplan on my team is doing these. He has music, he has snacks, he has a little menu, and people are encouraged to read and talk about books. And I know we have our press for time, but we also have pop-up library, really important, on the promenade for Pride on June 21st. So we have these wonderful beach pop-up libraries. We're also having one at the Annenberg at the end of the summer for the end of summer reading. So if you're around on the promenade, come on by 2 to 6. And we have all kinds of events happening as part of that pop-up library. We also have a summer movie series going on at Montana and, at Main Library in Pico, where women have curbs. We're going to show. We're actually going to have an actress from that movie come and do some speaking. Moving movie based on true story, I'm Still Here. If you haven't seen it, it's amazing. Yeah, and we have following the film, UCLA professor Brian Pitts, an expert on Brazilian politics and author of the book Until the Storm Passes, Politicians, Democracy, and the Demise of Brazil's Military Dictatorship, discusses the film and what you didn't see portrayed. So that should be really interesting too. We always have all these flyers. I can pass them around downstairs in our lobby and at our different locations. We're also helping a group, and I think we came across them from the Palisades actually, Learn to Spin Yarn. And so we have this program going on over at Montana Branch, Perfecting the Hollywood Pitch, Main Library Multipurpose Room, and of course we have all our book groups that are happening this summer. And we've been doing this flyer that has all the titles for it. Last thing I'll say is Santa Monica Reads, which we kind of combined with summer reading the last few years. We decided to push it out this year and just do summer reading. So we pushed out Santa Monica Reads to February, March. But as part of summer reading online, we have it where people can go in and give us suggestions of things they've read this summer that they think would make a good Santa Monica read. Because you can get points for going online and doing little challenges and things like that. So that's adult summer reading.
Thank you both of you. This sounds terrific.
Absolutely. Is there any questions that you have for us? And you have a long meeting. Yeah.
So the summer reading is just you choose whatever book you want.
Yes.
And that's what you're talking about.
And log your time.
To February was the event where everyone reads the same book.
Same book, right. So we'll be asking for, great question, we'll be asking for suggestions from the community, staff, and we'll be forming a committee. We might be hitting up the library board to help be in our committee, and the friends and staff. And we usually, in the past we've narrowed it down to 5. I think we're thinking of narrowing it down to 3, a little less reading for everyone. People are pushed for time, and then we will select, and everyone will read the title together. It'll be really fun. Yeah.
No, I think pushing it, to a different time of year is good, because you do so much during the summer.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and people are
Do
busy, and
something.
it'll be nice. We want to promote reading and books all year round, yes. And of course, we'll also be continuing with the Poet Laureate program, so you'll be hearing more about that, and it's kind of a similar time frame. That's in March, April. Yeah, exciting.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, it sounds
I'll leave it
terrific.
here in case anyone
And
wants to take a look.
Great, all of your enthusiasm.
Yes, we're
Yeah.
enthusiastic. Yeah, it's our deal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thanks
you.
for having us. Have a good rest of the meeting.
Nice to meet you too.
Nice to see you all. Thanks for coming. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Yes, I hope to. You're sneaking out with us?
Okay, so we'll move on to community mapping.
This is actually, I think we may get more information in July, but I did want to talk with you about it because we're about to launch this. And I'm gonna, as you can tell, we have got a very enthusiastic, amazing staff. We also have limited resources. And I think why and what makes us so special is our people, and how they have, and particularly these past 5 years, really been adapting and bouncing back and being creative and all of that good stuff. What we haven't really been able to do in a more planned, consistent way is to go out into the community and to really talk about or talk to and listen to the community and the changing needs. And so that is what we're going to be embarking on beginning in July. I mentioned it a little bit before. We're calling it, it's our community mapping process, but the actual theme is around helping to map the future of the library. And so that's what we're going to be, as an organization, doing, is planning both, the surveys and ways to digitally connect with people, but also in-person opportunities. So these are just some slides that we use to talk with our staff about, because we've been talking about it for a while and preparing, but this was kind of our last all-staff meeting. We really talked about what a kickoff and a launch is, and Cecile, who is our communication and marketing coordinator, has helped with certain materials, and the entire management team has really helped with organizing how we're going to do it and what we're going to do. The difference from past in terms of community engagement of this magnitude is past we have usually had consultants, we've usually had people who were helping us along the way to create some really good strategic planning documents. This is homegrown. This is all of us together, and it is the team taking their learnings from going to different conferences, from working in different organizations, from really talking with colleagues on what we want to learn about the community and how we want to do it. So I think that's also a little bit more unique here, is that the team is actually going and we're training our other team members to do it. And we're really expecting all levels to be able to talk about what community mapping is. And so for you here, just brief information on what it is. Structured process involves surveying patrons, gathering feedback from the community, and why are we doing this? Listen, connect, engage, strengthen the library's role, focus on underserved populations, build sustainable community partnerships, extend the library's reach and impact. Bottom line, we know that we have limited resources, but we still want to make sure that we are listening to community and learning about how the needs have changed, right? So twofold, it's engaging and going out and not just talking with the people who come here or the people that we talk to every day, but identifying different groups that we may not hear from, we may not see, or we may not talk to regularly. And so our teams are going to be looking at that. And then the second part really is on the staff end. The empowerment and the training that we're trying to instill in our staff to make sure that they are getting that feeling of ownership of this is our library, and this is our city that we're serving, is just as important as going out and talking with the community. Because when you have a staff that really cares about what they're doing and are participating in it and have that ownership, you, community, will feel that, and you will, see that every day in their work. And so that's why we're doing it. And it's going to be a fairly long process. So we've done preparation March through June. July 1st, we're gonna kick it off. We're gonna have a community engagement survey. We are going to be identifying and doing some smaller focus groups. And then we're going to pick a few days where we do larger community conversations, where it's like you're invited, come and participate. So that's in our connect phase. Our second phase is assess, so all that information and data we're going to be putting together. Our staff is going to be looking at it, analyzing it from the survey results to anecdotes to focus groups. We're going to have our team look at that. And then the third phase really is the co-design and plan. So what that means is we are really moving away from planning for the community and instead planning with the community. And we do that already on certain projects, but what we want to do is make it kind of the way of life of how we're approaching library services in the future. Because again, we can't be everything to everyone. We don't have those resources, so we really want to hone in on what it is we can do with and work with community on. So we're tailoring those programs and services. I think, January to March is kind of we're piloting and we're trying different things out. I do think that it will take probably another 6 to 9 months after to really figure out and, get things going. But all the while, we are still doing our programs. But we're making little tweaks to see how we can reach folks, as largely and broadly as possible. So, Cecile, I don't know if you want to talk just a little bit about the survey?
Yeah, sure. So we worked with the management team to come up with a survey. So there is an online version that will be published in early July on the website, and then there's also going to be print versions that are available at all the locations. This is for staff to know. So there is going to be a $100 incentive for a local gift card that if you provide your email address after submitting the survey, then you have a chance to win. And then in terms of the options for patrons, so these are a few different ways that staff can direct the public to take the survey. So there will be a link on the catalog computers where people can click on it and fill out the survey there if they're at the library. There's going to be a bookmark that's printed with a QR code to the survey, so if someone doesn't have time when they're here, they could take it when they have a chance. The print versions I mentioned, and then there is a subset of questions that create this larger interactive display. And these boards are actually what we're going to put them on. So there's going to be 4 boards across at the entrance of main library. We're also printing copies of the locations. And people will use stickers. So green will be for teens, blue is for youth, and then orange is for adults. And you put stickers based off of, this is where I live, or I don't live in Santa Monica, but I work here. And here's how I use the library. I use it for study rooms or to take out, DVDs. So it's kind of a fun way to answer the questions. And it's just a subset of them because not all the questions that we answer kind of lend itself to this way. But that will come out also the first week of July. And this is just kind of the timing that I was sharing with them in terms of what will become available when. So all of those things are hoping to drop the week of June 30th. July 1st is a Tuesday. That's kind of the date that we're aiming for. For me, the biggest date that's pending is the city. So the city now, because we're on the city website, every blog post or press release actually goes through Office of Communications. So we can't just post anything. So they do have a press release. They do need to approve it. They'll make their edits. And then based on their timing, if for some reason they have another initiative that they'd like to launch on July 1st, that could take precedence. But we'll kind of work with them to do that. And then the week of July 14th, so you all may receive the monthly newsletter that we send out at the middle of the month. So that will be the first one in July, and we'll include information there. And also pending approval, something that we have access to, if you've seen around the city, there's digital kiosks with ads. Yeah, so we'd like to include this initiative. I think they don't approve everything, but I think this is long enough that they might be okay with it because it's not something that's just for like one day, for example, like a program. And that would have a QR code for people to take the survey as well.
That's good. Well, and also, the city, they send out, updates. Hopefully they'll include this in one of theirs.
Yeah, so any press release or blog post that's published on the city site also gets incorporated into the newsletter, social media, gets distributed to the press if it is a press release. So yeah, hopefully they put it as a press release versus a blog post. But either way, we'll get traction from other city departments as well.
That's good because you really want to get it as widespread as possible.
Yeah, and we've talked about potentially maybe placing some ads. I do have access to campaigns on Libby, not Hoopla. Hoopla we're working on. So there's a campaign that will run for the duration of the survey time period, which is July 1st through September 30th. So while you're on the platform, yeah.
So it's open until September, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's a few months, and then, as Erica mentioned, there's some specific events where we're inviting the public to come learn about the initiative, take the survey, interact in focus groups, and then our community engagement and programming librarians, such as Karen and Emily, they'll be working with their teams to do outreach events, or even just invite people to take the survey at the events that they're hosting here at the library.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I mean, one thing that we've learned recently by going out to the neighborhood groups is sending it to them as well.
Yes, yeah. Ocean Park Association in particular is really great.
They send a lot.
Might be a good idea to use this as a way to get back on their agenda for a specific item.
Right.
And do a check-in, because we did a pretty hard press on them for the
That's a good
for the
idea.
budget piece, so be able to go back and tell them, it's like,
Got
hey,
this
because
survey.
by this time the budget will be adopted, it's like, we're flat, we didn't shrink, that's good, but this is, encourage your members to
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah, and they
Yeah, that's a good
they've been
idea.
hosting at Ocean Park Branch, right? So,
The Ocean Park Association has,
Yeah.
Well, I think, I'm impressed that, you know, this is an internal effort.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which I think is terrific that staff is building this and it's good.
Yeah, it's work for sure. This is our, and thank you, Cecile, for explaining, because we've got some excellent marketing pieces. The idea is to offer as many ways to engage for our community as possible. So the digital, the focus groups in person, the interactive ones, or if you just want to stop and put some dots. So it's very thoughtful in terms of the plan and the team putting together that plan. Engagement opportunities, so this is kind of the last in terms of a call, should you be interested. We are scheduling larger guided conversations. So focus groups are really the smaller 8 to 10, very, targeted to different groups. But the larger conversations are going to likely be smaller, like a large group and then breaking up into small group facilitation, but around the same themes and questions as we're asking in certain focus groups. So there's a planned one July 9th where we want to look at community leaders, particularly community leaders, nonprofits for the guided conversation. And that will be kind of invitation, and we'll be looking to your networks to see who you may have ideas for. August 12th, Montana Branch is having an open house, so that's a come and learn about community mapping, and should you want to stay, then we'll have a guided conversation then. So we'll be doing that at Montana and at Pico. And then we'll also be doing one final one, same day as a Pico one in the afternoon probably, at the main library. So those are the larger guided conversations. And I will say, these are all staff are, willing and all in, and I'm basically saying, let's try it and see what happens, because some may work, some may not work, some may flop, some may be super successes, but part of that learning, especially with the staff, is really getting to know what works, what doesn't, and how we can make it better. So the process is iterative as we go through it. That's why it's going to be from July to September. And so that July 9 conversation may be very different from when we get to September, but it will be interesting to see how and what, what we're going to be hearing from at that point. And so that's community mapping. If you have any questions?
Well, I guess since you're starting the summer when there's school is out, but it would be good to also include the schools we'll be back in August.
Yes.
But yes, because I mean, I know that the school, we've heard, the schools are really interested in what's happening.
Yeah.
And, sharing what they would like to see.
Absolutely. And I think also in September, we have library card sign-up month, so it's almost, we're not necessarily looking on everything on top of everything, where we want to integrate whatever we're planning with this community mapping and engagement piece. And even when we do outreach to schools, if we're doing classes, the youth services may try and figure out how they can, integrate that. And of course, the survey will, if we can get it on for SMMUSD,
Right,
to go out,
yeah.
Pitch Star and all that. So,
What will the actual, these sessions kind of look like? I understand what the survey will be, and
Mm-hmm.
was that kind of like, it's more of a conversation? Or
It's
what is
more
that
of a
like?
conversation, so they're open-ended questions, and the survey does have open-ended questions. They're all optional, so you can fill it out, or if you choose not to, you don't need to. But in the focus groups and the guided conversations, they're depending on the facilitator pairs, right? We'll choose, largely we'll look at questions around values and aspirations, and we will glean themes from that and phrases of it. And again, this is not necessarily to promise the moon and back to anybody. This is, okay, so we see that this is what you value here. Here's how our programs can help, showcase that, but also community, if you've got ideas that will match what we've heard for the values, let's co-create something together and see how that works. So in the end, we do plan on having some sort of report. Not sure how it's going to look like yet, so it just depends on the type of data that we get and what themes emerge. But there will be some type of report and report back, both to the board, the friends, possibly beyond that. And if we can, when we can talk to neighborhood groups and all of that afterwards, we'll report out. And hopefully if we have that information of folks who share their email, that's another way to report out to let people know what we found out.
And what would you like from the board during this process?
So these are opportunities that are open as we begin. So our focus groups specifically are going to be starting in August and September. As we begin to do this, either attend your networks to come and attend. I would say the August 12th or September 27th. The July 9th one, if anybody's interested in either co-facilitating or being a partner in that way, we can go through that as well. We are developing materials for guided conversations. I mean, it is going to be pretty broad and open, but we will have partners, note taker and facilitator. Cecile will be doing one. She'll be doing the one at Montana. So we'll see how those conversations go. We may talk with seasoned facilitators in the city to see if we can get some feedback or information, but some of us have gone through some facilitated conversation training, and so that's what we're hoping, is that we're getting deeper in to a few questions rather than in a survey. We have tons of questions, and then just whatever people are typing.
Good. Well, I mean, this is a big effort, and yeah, it is. I mean, given then you have, you've got no more staff or no more anything. Good work. We're looking forward to this, and I know you've wanted to do this for a while. So and together, that's great.
I've acknowledged, especially with the staff, that right, we have the budget news, and then we have all of this stuff that we're doing, and I reassured them that what we want is the thinking to switch from, we have to do all of this stuff on top of everything we're doing, and instead, how do we integrate our work so that these values and the feedback we're getting is showing through. So it's all about, again, like I put here, all of us together, and so that's community and library really having that negotiation and conversation and being okay with talking about what we can't do, right? And then talking about what we can do and emphasizing that. So, yeah. Thanks.
A while back, we talked about maybe outreaching to some corporations or something like that.
Yes.
Do you think part of this process it would be to, I don't know if they would come, that's one thing to get them to come, but is it also another thing kind of maybe have some of these where maybe we could reach out to some
Yeah.
of the companies and see if.
Well, we could go to them
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
For as a focus group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think one
Especially
of
the ones that are based here.
right,
Yeah.
one of the areas are like businesses. I mean, we were talking about small businesses, but yes, I think that if we can set up some type of focus group and then talk about it, it's not in here, but we're talking about 3 ideas or areas that we ask, when we're planning is what do we want to learn from our group? What do we want the group to know about us? So learn, know, and then a year from now, what do we see as a behavior that'll show? So how do we want them to behave to show that what we've talked about and our efforts are successful in getting through to the community? So learn, know, behave is kind of the principles of what we're going to be doing. So I think, yes, and apply that to any group that we feel like we could use more of that feedback from.
Yeah, it's like a way
Yeah.
to further engage and get support.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think-
Visibility.
Yeah, I think it's a good way.
And
to
awareness
So you could have,
Of
meet-
what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
they probably don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most people don't know, right?
Right.
That's kind of what we found, like talking
don't
with
know.
neighborhood groups, and also last time, like most people don't know about the budget or
Yeah. Yep.
all these things.
Yeah.
And the chamber would be a good a good group
Mhm.
to go.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it would be definitely if you wanted to send me ideas, but figure out because focus group is like 8 to 10 people, so it's not necessarily a whole
No,
get me on your
yeah,
agenda,
yeah,
but
it
it's
could be
like
some-
can we get a smaller group and we can have that conversation? But yeah, I'm open to doing that, and I think that would be me because I think the staff is doing other different areas, but maybe I can also bring a staff member so that we can partner
Okay,
with
sure.
a staff member. Yeah,
Great.
thank you.
Good.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, all right. We'll move on to Secretary's report.
Thank you for coming. Me again.
I'm not going to leave you.
You're not gonna leave me? Thank you. We talked about most of it already in terms of the Secretary's report, so I'm not going to belabor the citywide information. We do have a new city manager coming July 14th. Comes from the city of Irvine. In terms of our programming, it's Pride Month, so we've got some great programs. Actually, sponsored both by the city and the library, or co-sponsored. So there was Drag Bingo at Solidarity. That was on June 5th. We have a Rainbow Family Storytime next week, and Pride on the Promenade. We've got the pop-up library happening on the 21st. It's also Jewish American Heritage Month. And so we had, that was May. Sorry, that was May. We had a live performance by Klezmer Juice, which is an LA-based Jewish soul band known for its infectious energy and Latin flavor. So that was definitely popular, and loved being able to connect with community through music spaces. Last month also was Mental Health Awareness Month, and so we had 2 free events in partnership with National Alliance on Mental Illness, Westside LA. And then this program actually on May 21st got a lot of real interest. So it's how Santa Monica streets got their names. So over 50 community members came. It was at Ocean Park, and it was a great lecture, and a lot of folks left saying they had learned a lot from it. And then local history resources. So we're talking about and planning for the commemoration of 150 years. And so we'll be looking at displays, digital collections, and other ways to highlight, and definitely partner with other organizations in the city. I think Karen mentioned the Repertory Theater And then, thanks to a connection from Dana last night, we had an intimate conversation with Ada Miriam Davis. And I wasn't able to attend that, but it was on reflection, resistance, and reimagining Black futures. So the Friends of the Library continue to do these monthly programs, and there's actually 2 scheduled for next month in July, the 17th and the 23rd. One is on home and perspectives of home and what that is to different people, and it's a panel. I have all the names with me. And then the 23rd is Shola Richard, and he's talking about civility through kindness, which is one that should be really good, and hoping to invite lots of people, including city people, to come.
Yes.
So that's it for the secretary's report. A lot's happening.
A lot is happening. I mean, a lot of, yeah, sounds like it. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get to last night. Dana, do you want to just mention how it went?
I mean, I just want to praise the Friends. I think they really did an excellent job of organizing it and providing all kinds of marketing material. And we did filter into the cafe, and that was kind of wonderful to be in that space and get a chance to use it. Yeah, it was a great conversation. I mean, as I mentioned, the challenge is just turnout and getting people to come to things. And I think we did realize, like, this is a tough week because it's graduation week and this and that and chaos in Los Angeles, etc. So that was, I would have loved to have seen a larger turnout, but it was a really nice event, and they did a great job.
That's great. So, I mean, I'm hoping they're encouraged by continuing to do these, because it's really
they
great.
mentioned like maybe planning like more like a little salon and like just having it in the cafe or up in the community room because the auditorium's very large.
It's big,
so it kind of feels unless you
Salon
like
would
fill
be
that
nice.
space,
Right.
So that was a good idea, I thought.
Yeah, that could be great to do it in the cafe.
Mhm.
Set up chairs in there.
Yeah, I think there's so much going on, it's hard to keep track of it if you don't put it on your calendar, right? Yeah, that's true. Okay, so the next item, and so our minutes from May, oh boy, we're really keeping, that was just last month, so we're really keeping up to date. She's on it. Has everyone had a, well, I don't know, I guess since we're sent out, do we have a chance to read and review the minutes? Are there any questions or corrections? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Right.
Oh, I don't know, do we need a roll call? I think.
I'm just writing down who. Did anyone abstain?
I'm abstaining because I wasn't here.
Okay.
Should I do it?
It was a very small little meeting.
Yes.
You were
I went
you were gone too.
Yeah.
That was- Okay, so, I
Do we
guess,
have
yeah.
enough people if we abstain then?
Hmm?
Do we have enough people if we're
We
abstaining?
have, we have a quorum.
Okay.
Yeah, well, those two. Well, what happens in that case? Do we have to wait till Antone?
Your abstention is a vote.
Oh, it
So
is,
we have
okay.
quorum to vote.
Okay,
You
all
can
right.
still abstain.
Thank you. For that.
That's
I wasn't sure.
Robert's rule 4.
Sounds reasonable.
Okay, so we've approved the minutes, great. All right, all right, well, then we're good. So, we could have any more public input, but our guests, you don't have any input. Or do you have anything you'd like to share?
I mean, I'm aware of the issues with the city's budget, and I myself have offered comments that go to the appropriate channels to whoever that reads it. Obviously, I'm aware of the issues that the city's dealing with and so forth. So and I've encouraged other people that I know to offer comments as well in light of the city's circumstances. So, yeah.
So Which library do you like?
I generally go to Montana, but I love them all. But yeah, I was in Montana just before coming here to this meeting. So yeah,
Well, we appreciate you coming,
certainly.
for sure, and supporting the library.
I give the credit to my late mother. She, I'm not originally from California. My life started with the libraries in South Carolina. The bookmobile in our county, well, where I lived, we were not in the city at that time, but the bookmobile with the county came out, and so yeah, that's how I got my first library card. And you know, my saint of a mother, just you're going to read, and so yeah, that with school and scouts. I'm an Eagle Scout, so yeah, I will always be an advocate for the libraries. So yeah,
Thank you. What, may I ask your name?
Gerald Boulware.
Nice to meet you, and thank you, and please come back.
Of course, yeah, it's been a while, so I'll make sure I come
No,
again.
Welcome. We don't often have much public interest in our meetings, but so we welcome. When, you know, anyone would come, and you know, so we're open to hearing. You know, I think the community mapping will be a great opportunity for you to be, you know, get more involved.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thanks again. So last month we had a big crew at Serving with a Purpose. That's great. So so this is an opportunity to share any thoughts or ideas that you got from it. How was it?
That's good. I've got two things I want to share with the larger board. One is I checked in with the Dolly program, the children's reading thing.
Oh.
And I don't know if they've reached out to you or friends or whatever, but they're not in LA County yet. They're trying to launch in LA County, which I think would be fabulous.
Which
Dolly Parton's organization.
Oh, Dolly Parton's. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
The Imagination
Oh,
Library.
right. Yeah. Oh.
And the basic function is that they make sure they send books to kids directly. It's subsidized by their foundation and a 501c3, so they're looking for partners. They're already in most of the rural counties in California. They haven't hit the big population centers like LA yet because it's so absolutely large, and when they sign a county up, they are truly committed to like enrolling as many children as possible into the program and getting books in their hands. So I connected directly with their director for Southern California. I was hoping to bring it up with friends. I didn't pepper with too many questions, but just essentially it's you, as a partner, you're effectively signing up to support the program per kid for like the cost. And I think the cost really comes down to like $2 per kid per year or something. And to the extent that they're going to launch in LA County, I would love somehow for us to, some organization in Santa Monica be involved in that. And I would love to talk with more about that. I don't know if we have much time, kind of got to leave at 7:30. But I don't know who to follow up with. Would we follow up with you directly, or I follow up with the Friends group, or?
Yeah, it would need to be a partner group like the Friends group,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
we
Well, they
can talk.
have to have it be another 501c.
Yeah.
But they're also funded by the state of California
Yeah.
through the state library. So it's a nice little, lovely, virtuous circle of supporting young readers, right? Which is the whole point of their program, is getting kids reading early.
Yeah, so there is a Friends meeting next week on Wednesday.
Unfortunately, I've got some family issues in Texas I'll be gone for the next week or so.
Okay. And I'm out after Wednesday, but if you wanted to do a quick call before then, we can do a quick call, or we can wait.
I'm available tomorrow. I'm looking
Okay.
So is there a good time tomorrow?
Tomorrow, after probably around 1 or 2, I think.
Okay. I will text you at 1,
Yes,
and you can tell
text me.
whether or not that works for you.
Yeah.
The second thing from the Purpose conference was we went to the board members breakout. There was a city there whose budget was funded through a dedicated tax. And so we've been talking a lot at this meeting about the budget. I know that when they were doing the study sessions, they were examining whether to put a bond on the ballot for just general purpose expenses, which is, I think, an insane idea. But I do know that the city loves our library, and if we had a dedicated funding source, we might be able to insulate the library from future shocks. And given this week, we're going to have more future shocks, maybe with a higher frequency going forward from a funding perspective. So it might behoove us to look at studying the concept of a dedicated funding source the way many other, like the Pier and other places, have dedicated funding sources. The library doesn't. And that would be a very popular one, based on just my surveying of people in my neighborhood in Vermont. So I would like us to explore that as a board and maybe make that as a recommendation to council. I know we're through this budget cycle planning, this biannual thing, that's fine. But as we look to restore full funding, and Jesus, at this point, 7 years after the pandemic began, getting the library, getting branches open. So, and that actually might be the hook. It is a dedicated funding source to make sure that we have funding to get the libraries open in the next biannual budget.
Yeah, well, I think that is, I think it's worth researching and pursuing. I think we need to get a lot of political support to do that.
That's why I thought the initial step might be a study group that is inclusive of people from the library board, the Friends, and some other people, other civic constituencies.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that's a great idea. We should discuss that and think about who we could bring in.
Yeah.
We probably all know different people who are connected politically into different groups, but. Yeah.
It'd be helpful to look at those other cities that have done it.
Yes,
and
right.
Look at their playbook. And,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, good idea, Dan.
Other than that, it was I enjoyed it. It's just always good to be in a room full of librarians. That's they're really positive energy.
Do you have anything to add, Dana or Jason?
No, I mean, it was just, sort of reinforced again. We're one of the few library systems that's still closed due to COVID. That's not really a thing anywhere else anymore.
No, it's embarrassing. It's really.
So that was interesting.
I have, so there was the director one, but I have learned there's definitely certain cuts looming on the horizon for library systems now versus before, and that's just whether that's like budget deficits, travel, tourism, all of those things are now kind of hitting not so much like the big travel cities, but I mean they're hitting us too, but now they're hitting even like the smaller cities. So I've heard that there's going to be more of that, and when we're talking about the funding cuts, for the state and what will happen there, there's a lot of the conversation was doing more with less, or keeping, or looking at other ways to build up, their Friends, or some have foundations, but not too many. More actually have Friends than foundations.
Yeah.
Very hard to kind of sustain a foundation if you're a smaller library system. So that's kind of what we were talking about. And then this staffing, and staffing is different, and there is a lot more retirements happening, and then being able to fill. But there's kind of this middle part that is either middle management or beginning management. Up onto leaders, that there's a little bit of a gap. So we talked also about leadership development and what that might look like for the new generation of folks coming in. So
yeah, it's going to be it's hard times.
For the funds that go to the library, is it also going? It's going directly to the library, right? From Friends.
Yeah.
And is it going to some special bucket, like? the books or the staff, or it can go however the library needs to use it.
So the Friends maintain their own budget, and then they will allocate funds by request for proposals, usually once a year.
From the
So,
library.
yeah, so summer reading is always a bucket or an allocation, so that generally is Friends are, providing out of that. And then there are other areas, but most of it is around services and
Project,
programs.
yeah.
Not
Staff.
staff.
Not a.
There's part-time staff. I mean, they have to maintain the part-time bookkeeper.
Yeah.
They've got some part-time social media
No, I mean,
marketing.
funding city staff.
Yeah, it's not for-
funding programs and.
Yes, it's for
Activities.
funding purposes. Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
So what I meant, like, asking that is, like, even if we did do things to, like, generate more donations to the Friends, it's to specific programs. It's not the library overall, but it'll help.
Yes, so what the Friends are trying to do eventually through membership and other fundraising is for capital type campaigns and improvements. So
Right.
that's one, they haven't reached that threshold to be able to do that.
Right.
But that's one of their, and so that's the other part, right? So we have a general fund budget, and usually we have a capital improvement budget, which has been,
Yeah, definitely.
lots of deferred maintenance, and so that's also keep in mind.
But what I mean is, like, looking at, like, our situation, it's kind of like we have to do all of it. Like, it's because even if, for example, there was more donations to the Friends, it's not like it's going to help the library overall. It helps capital projects or specific projects, but not overall the library,
No,
which is
not
why
the
looking at
operations.
a tax potentially can help with the overall picture.
Yes, yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and the report on your Robert Woods Johnson conference.
Yeah, I can make that quick. It was a last minute kind of invitation. The city itself won a Robert Wood Johnson Culture of Health Prize in 2016. And so this was the last year that they were doing this Culture of Health Prize. And so they invited all of the alumni, plus all the prize winners, to come together and to celebrate. And basically it's communities, cities who have made efforts towards health, whether that's from well-being perspective, violence prevention, and like a broad swath of what health means. And so for us, when we won it, it was at that time $25,000. It funded the microgrant well-being program that now still exists, but not inside the city anymore. There's still a well-being program, microgrant program through Human Relations Council. And so the person who helps head that up, Julie Rusk, who used to work for the city, had invited me as the library kind of partner with them. And so this is just what the actual who the prize winners are now, and so this year the prizes were substantial in terms of what they got, which is like $250,000 for their efforts. Back then it was like $25,000, but we all came together, we celebrated, but what they also did was held conversations, with the different groups, and we talked a lot about, what in the future or how to help, our communities, particularly with nonprofits and coalitions who are, again, their money too, they're dwindling, and what certain community leaders and organizers are doing. I wanted to go from the perspective of how do libraries fit into that. A lot of it was more around, right, like the civic, the civic part and the community health part, but there were definitely areas where libraries became that hub, and partnered with nonprofits. So it was a really great, what we all talked about, like, we're all from different sectors, but it's like, it's your people. It's the people who are there to serve the community, and no matter what or whatever is happening. And so it was nice to be there and very inspiring. It was in New Orleans, which was very nice, my first time there. And yeah, I think what I gained from it was a network of folks, new and different people to connect with, and from all across the country. So I thought that was great too.
It's cool.
Just to go back, Daniel, what city was it who had a?
I'll have to, I don't recall off the top of my head.
Oh.
It began with a B. But their board was actually effectively a fiduciary board as well.
Yeah.
Because they had
yeah.
they had the dedicated funding source, so
Right.
They made budget
They
decisions.
made
budget
That's
decisions.
not a surprise.
Yeah.
They got to control the budget.
Library
Yeah.
districts are
Yeah.
like that, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
I looked online. It looks like Altadena might have a special tax, property tax.
Okay, well, good.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's actually quite common out like in the south, where I came from. You would have.
Los Angeles has one.
Yeah.
City of Los Angeles.
Yes, looks like Los Angeles has one too.
Okay, well, so the last thing is, so the 150th anniversary celebration, which is really going from July to December. So the first thing, there is something happening on July 4th, which I wanted to see if the board wants to participate. It sounds, so the Santa Monica Conservancy has reached out to all the history partners in the city, including the library, the Museum of Flying, the Heritage Museum, the History Museum, to see if there was interest in doing a joint at the pier to participate in the July 4th parade. Now, there's a big parade down Main Street, and have they're going to make a banner saying something, all the history partners in the city, and have each group either wear their T-shirts and have signs to carry. And I think there's an old car that one of the board members for the Conservancy has, and so people will ride in the car and then march together. So they reached out to the staff, and so some of the staff, I mean, which, you know, we wouldn't want staff to work unless they really wanted to do it on their own, I suppose, because I mean, they're not going to get paid for participating, I didn't think, right? I mean, is that that was not part of.
No, but when representing the city and the library, you
Then they
do need to,
Oh, okay.
yeah, there needs to
I mean,
be-
is that all right? Or,
I
I thought it would be ask the board members to participate.
Yeah, I mean, we're asking, I think for certain levels of staff, like I could do it, or certain managers, but for like hourly staff, it would be a little difficult.
Yes,
to
right,
do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is on July 4th, which is Friday, the 4th, I guess. And so I think if you're, the library has said they're going to participate, so there will be.
I'm working on.
I mean, I'm on the board of the Conservancy and the library, but I think I'll wear my library T-shirt and march with the library. But so if anyone wants to do it, it'd be fun.
What is this, being in the parade?
In the parade, yeah.
Like
Well,
wearing a
it'd be part of
t-shirt?
the parade, so we'd be the history partners. And I mean, Eric and I were just talking the other day about bringing together all these organizations that focus on our city history. And I mean, everyone is struggling. Like the nonprofits are really struggling. You know, museum is struggling. We're, Conservancy. And I wanted to invite the friends too.
Yeah.
So,
That would be Rachel.
Yeah.
Kennedy. Yeah, but and there's a friends meeting next Wednesday.
yeah, so I was gonna, I was gonna ask, and it's nice because Laurel Schmidt just joined the board of the Conservancy, so I'm glad she's back, so, working on this stuff. So, I'll have her send her email to Rachel about it.
I think there's also some discussion on the idea of free people read freely.
Yes, well, the staff asked if they
Like
could carry that banner,
and-
and that's a great idea. Yeah.
The parade's really fun. I was on the truck last year.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I used to, I
For
would.
the daily press, my husband's
Oh.
band plays on,
Oh.
they play on top of the truck. It's this whole thing.
Oh, that's
For the daily
great.
press.
For the daily
Yeah.
press.
It was
Okay.
fun.
Cool.
Oh, that
It was
is fun.
fun. Like,
It's
come
a
out
really, you know,
one
it's a
time.
very Santa Monica kind of thing, so.
Probably really
Like
early.
Ted
Yeah.
Nugent comes, like certain
Yeah.
politicians will
Yeah.
show up, and
What time does it?
Well,
it's in the morning.
It's just, like, I think they
start like
started
Yeah.
8
Yeah.
to gather at 8.
Like in front of City Hall, and then it just goes down Main Street.
I might be able to go
Yeah.
too, yeah.
So, so if you want to come, you know,
Yeah,
come.
I'd be interested.
We'll send out more information, we'll get more information about specifics, but I think that's great, it'd be fun.
Great.
And, you know, through the year, well, Erica talked about having the city's, the library's resources available and looking. So I'll share this, that, this has nothing to do so much with the library, but I've been using the library's archives, image archives, because as part of Pier 360, which is the end of June 28th and 29th, you know, there's a whole big, you know, a lot of sports, people go in the water, do paddle boarding and swim races and volleyball, but Jim Harris, who's the executive director, has been doing a pop-up museum on the pier deck that started 10 years ago. And so from the Conservancy, I said, well, we could do something on Muscle Beach and the history of Muscle Beach, which is something that was my project to renovate it, and, you know, in the process of that, I met some of the original Muscle Beach folks. So the library has great photos, the museum has some, so we're doing an exhibit that'll be up.
Nice.
Yeah, so that'll be
Yeah.
nice, but that, you know, and of course the library will get credit for the photos, but, you know, people don't really know that we have this really great collection of historical photos.
Cool.
Oh, one thing that's not on here, but I'm working with Susan to pick some of the images from the archives, and we're going to redo all the posters that are on the columns here at Maine.
Oh, cool.
Hopefully in time to start for the 150th anniversary in
Oh,
July.
wonderful, oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
What's the actual date of incorporation? What's the
I
actual
think it was
anniversary?
here, it's July 15th.
Okay.
1875.
Cool.
Saw it somewhere.
Yeah.
Susan, I think you had this.
July 15th,
First
it
match.
says.
Yeah, July 15th.
First match.
And you guys are all aware of the State of the City event, right?
Oh, yeah, so the State of the City is July 17th.
Correct.
Mm.
Yeah. But they're doing more of like a community event versus like a speech.
Yeah, it'll be at Miles Playhouse, which is
Oh, that's right.
reopening
I saw that.
again, which is great. Okay, well, I think we're almost done. Yeah. But, well, I mean, you can go, but I just wanted to share, I listened to the council meeting, a very short discussion about our request for a liaison. It was very upsetting. So this was the discussion. The city clerk explained, you know, how we had gotten one and then she didn't stay on the council, so we're submitting another request. And like the first person who spoke was Councilmember Barry Snell, who said, well, I think, you know, this could cause some problems in terms of the discussions at the boards, if there's a council person, you know, which is not really at all how we envisioned it. And he said, well, I think that, you know, council members should visit boards and commissions. And then that was his, and then Dan Hall asked, you know, is this in the board and commission resolution? And the city clerk said yes. And then he said, well, I think we should just reject this request. And that was it. And they took a roll call vote, and they just rejected it without any other discussion.
Mm. Is it because we weren't present, or?
No. I mean, I had sent.
I saw that.
Yeah.
You said.
But
And
I
do they
wasn't.
have like historical context that there used to be liaisons to every?
I mean,
board
so
and committee?
actually, I think it's I don't know. I don't, you know, not gonna write to them, but I was thinking, I don't know. It's just, Yeah, it's just, it's distressing because we had, last week there was a meeting of boards and commission chairs and vice chairs to review the resolution, and other commissions, were saying, oh, we feel like there's, nobody pays attention to us, council doesn't pay attention, and so someone said, well, there, you can ask for a council liaison, so there's and people were interested in that, so I actually am going to, share this with that group.
Okay, yeah. Well, Diane Reynolds,
Yeah.
who I know in
Yeah.
the neighborhood, who's on the
From the airport
airport,
committee.
she was kind of echoed the same
Yes.
thing. Like, well, I heard, they're not going to do it. They're not doing it. I was told they're not doing it.
They don't. That's what
They don't want to
They
do
don't
it.
want
They think
the
they have
everyone
too much,
last.
they have, like, they were concerned that if everybody asked,
Yes, yeah.
they'd have.
Like, more work,
Yeah,
more
more
work.
work.
I guess.
Yeah.
But that's part of their, why do we have, because historically, every.
What was the
board-
reason it stopped? Because of COVID?
No, I think that from what I remember, certain council members were really good and enthusiastic about doing it, and other
Others
council
didn't
members
wanna
were
do it.
not.
Uh,
And so when you request one, it's kind of at
You
the
want the good
council
ones.
member's discretion.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get to.
Well, they don't
They
have
will-
to do it.
The
Yeah.
last time the board did this, Christine Parra came and
Mhm.
said, "I'll do it."
Mhm.
And
But
I
then
think
she actually
and
never
Right.
there
did.
were others who wanted to do it as well, I think,
Yeah.
that she
And
just spoke up first and others didn't have a chance. So I was just surprised.
It just feels very dismissive.
Yeah.
Like they
Just
didn't even really
yeah.
like consider it fully.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Which is disappointing.
yeah.
On the other hand, they did say they believe that, council
Well,
members should be.
yeah, I mean,
meeting, so I
we
think
can extend an
invitation-
invitation to them to come to our meeting, but, they
Invite
won't
them all every
come.
month.
Right.
Anybody.
Invite all of them.
Nobody will
Yeah.
come. Nobody will come, right? Anyway, it's just,
Yeah.
anyway, so.
Well, thank you
was-
for making the effort.
Well, at least we
Yeah, I'm
discussed
glad
it.
we did.
Our meeting goes into the city records
Right,
anyways,
that's
right?
true.
So we
Right.
discussed it,
Yeah.
and people know where we stand
Yeah,
on that, and that
Yeah.
it's a thing that existed,
right,
and that we're disappointed that we advocated for it.
right. Okay, so I think that's it. So we can, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to
All
adjourn.
right, so we're adjourned at 7:40. Oh, no, we'll have time to go grab a couple of books.
Yes.
Oh,
All right.
we should check on people's plans for the summer, people on vacations. Sometimes in the past, I think we didn't meet in August. I don't know if,
Oh, yeah.
so we could poll.
Yeah.
We could poll the board.
Oh, thank you.